Hello everyone, this is my first YouTube video. Many people, I'm going to keep them, I'm going to do a few, but I'm going to keep them between about 8 to 10 minutes only, because nobody wants to sit there and watch, hours and hours and hours of video. I've always had people say to me, the last 20 years of my life has been a journey and a half. And I've come out the other end and I'm smiling and I'm happy and I've survived it. And I've had a lot of people say to me to document it, if you can get out there and help just one person in the world that may be going through something that you've been through, then that is, then I've made my, there's my reason for life has been here. So I'll do a real quick rundown of bits and pieces, and then I'll probably end up just jumping from that, but I'll try and get us to the now so that we can continue on from there. But 20 years ago, I fell pregnant. I was out of home. I fell pregnant with my daughter, who, would you believe, is now 20. And I lived in commission houses, and it didn't work out with her father. So I lived on my own then with her. I was a single mum. I worked. She went to daycare. I would walk her to daycare. I would walk her home again. I had no car, nothing like that. That was nothing like major, Certainly money was a lot different then. Daycare was a lot cheaper than it is now, and I think it was actually a lot easier back then than it was now, from what I hear. And then I met my now husband when she was about 18 months. No, we got married then, so she was probably about 13 months old, and we met. I couldn't stand the man. Like, seriously, I went out drinking. I couldn't stand the man. But he just kept pursuing me, and eventually I fell in love with him. And I met him in the February, and we got married in the September of the same year. When you know it's right, it's right. Like, I don't have time to muck around in my life. And so, that was meant to be it. That was meant to be eternally happily ever after. Well, it wasn't. I then found out that it was going to be very, very difficult for me to have children. I'd had my daughter, and I'd found out that I had endometriosis very, very badly. So that was another reason why we got married very, very quickly. And because I didn't want to have another child out of wedlock. It's nothing I'm disagreeing on, it's just something that was, in my heart at the time. So after many years of trying injections, artificial insemination, like you name it, we tried it. Twice we went for IVF, and twice I found out I was pregnant. The first time didn't work out, and the second time I found out that I was pregnant with twins. I was ecstatic. Like, we were ecstatic, obviously, after, basically being a chore to fall pregnant with twins. And I remember I went to my 18-week scan, and they said that I had a boy and a girl, and basically everything was great. Famous last words, enjoy your pregnancy. Well, 19 weeks, I had ruptured membranes on one of the twins, and but I did not go into labour. So I was rushed into hospital, and I was admitted into hospital there and then, and that is where I stayed for the next 4 weeks. until I then did go into labour, and I had 2 twin boys. Didn't have a boy and a girl at all, at 25 weeks. One Timothy weighing 596 grams, and Alistair, whom Timothy passed away, and Alistair weighing 712 grams. And Alistair is now a very boisterous 16-year-old boy, who has cerebral palsy, had a big bleed of the brain when he was born, but we were very blessed. You know, he can do a lot of things on his own. He needs 24-hour care. He will always need 24-hour care. But my biggest thing that I believe in everything that has ever happened to me in my life is that there is always a silver lining for every dark cloud. Always. You may not know straight away. You may not know what it is, and you may not even believe that there's no way there could be a silver lining to the fact that I lost a son, even though that's very traumatic and terrible. He would have been very, very ill and very, very wheelchair bound and very, very sick, where Alistair's, he's got his problems, but what his problems are his problems. He's not ill, he's not, we don't have doctor's visits all the time. What he's got is what he's got. So so then basically I was told, well, not basically, I was told in no uncertain terms, you've got your boy and your girl now. I mean, he was in intensive care for 4 months. But you've got your boy and your girl now, just be happy with that. And I was definitely happy with that. Well, to put it bluntly, and I'm a very blunt person, he had a great night, and we found out, that the doctor that rung and in intensive care and told us. So my husband and I had a couple of drinks, celebrated, and I fell pregnant with my fourth. So, in the beginning, that was not exactly what I was after. Not really what I was thinking. But obviously that was what God had decided for me, so we were going to run with it. Little did we know that he was going to be in a rush to get out. So I went in and out of false labour the whole pregnancy, which, just going through not even 12 months before, the same thing, almost to the dates, to the point where at one point the doctors even got it mixed up, that they looked at the date and the month and not the year, and they thought that I was in there pregnant with twins, when really I was actually in there pregnant. It was the same day, same month, just different year. So I had to point that out to them. And so then he ended up waiting, thank goodness, 38 weeks, and I had a cesarean. And I'm going to wrap it up very soon, because like I said, last thing you want to do is be reading, is to be watching, 5 hours of video. So he was born. So I went home with him on my son's first birthday, which was also the anniversary of my other son's death, and I came home with a new baby. But it didn't end there. So thanks all for listening, and I hope that you carry on watching my journey, and because my journey is far from over. And if you want to reach out to me, reach out to me. I'm doing this because my idea is to help people and to support people. So yeah, I shall see you on the next video when you find out what happened after I came home with my little babies. Talk to you soon.